morning, guys. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I hope you guys are ready to get the morning started. Good morning. Good morning. Hold that thought. Can I have the water bottle right there, please? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sunshine. You can step to right here to the corner. Yes, you can. No. The camera's not that way. No. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. My name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Fast Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I just wanted a bottle of water. Yes, it's the office edition. Good morning, ladies. I hope you're ready to get this day started, y'all. I've had a really good morning, Kiba. Kiba, your ears must be burning. I talked about you yesterday. Good morning, ladies. It is a Friday. It is a wonderful, marvelous Friday. I hope you guys have been enjoying. I've been enjoying the show all this week, y'all. Like, for real. The show this week has really been absolutely for me. So, I've been enjoying it. So this morning, I was going to do the 8 rules of the mind. I did 2 of them yesterday, but I feel like I need to say something different this morning. But the 8 rules of the mind, I did 2 yesterday. One of them was every thought or idea causes a physical reaction in your body. Worry makes your stomach hurt. Anger and frustration affects your adrenal glands, which gets down into your blood. 70% of all human ailments comes from the negative thoughts that we think and is showing up in our body. 70%. So we're not actually sick from a disease. We're sick from our thoughts. Isn't that crazy? And number 2 is what is expected tends to be realized. Whatever you think is what's going to happen. Your mind takes a mental picture. So if you say, I hate this, I'm hungry, I'm this or that, your brain takes a mental picture, whether it literally sees a picture or you think it, and it works obsessively to give you what you want. So if you say, I am broke, your mind works obsessively to make you exactly what you just said. Isn't that amazing? So, but I feel like I can't finish those. It's called let me type it in. It's called the Rules of the Mind. And I just printed out the PDF. So there are 8 rules of the mind. And number 3 is imagination is more powerful than knowledge when dealing with your own mind or the mind of others. Number 4 is opposing ideas cannot be held at one and the same time, meaning you can't think positive and negative at the same time. Something is going to outrule the other. Number 5 is once an idea has been accepted in the back of your mind, it remains there until you replace it with something. Hence, and y'all, I've been doing this forever, but I didn't know that it was rules to the mind. I didn't know what it was called, where I said I had to replace my thoughts, something, with better thoughts. It stays there until you replace it with something else. Number 6, an emotional induced symptom tends to cause organic change if persistent and long enough. Meaning, if you keep staying in that emotion, it's going to manifest in your body in sickness somewhere. 70% of all human functions are by the thoughts alone. Number 7, each suggestion acted upon creates less opposition to successive suggestion. Once a habit is formed, it becomes easier to follow than to break. It's more difficult to break it once you start doing it over and over, but it's easy to start. And number 8, when dealing with your subconscious mind in its functions, that greater the conscious effort, the least the subconscious responds. That's why willpower will never work. When dealing with the subconscious mind and its functions, the greater your mind works and the less your subconscious mind works. So those are the 8 rules of the mind. Y'all know I'm a nerd science. I love brain science things. So that's truly life and death in the power of the tongue sitting right there. That's it. And you get to speak that every day. What you say is what you'll see. What you think is what you'll have. And science just backed all of that up. So how amazing is that? So, y'all, you know, we've been giving freebies for the whole month of June. I'm celebrating. So I've been doing freebies and giveaways and classes for the whole month. Every single day, I'll go live again in the evening. Last night, I gave away the 3 free chapters of my book, and I did a Q&A. We had some great questions and great conversations about that. I've given away my reading list, my personal journal, which is $14.44. If you want that, it's BIT, and it isn't a PDF. You can grab that. I did my reading list. I did there's a free webinar, 5 Steps to Live Past Crazy. I still have not attached a price to that yet. And I promise, I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I feel like somebody needs to see it and it needs to be free for them to see it. So that's 5 Keys to Live. My daily mantra was one, and that is just something that I read that helps me. That was free. And what else? I think that's it. So, right, Margaret, when we think about what we think about ourselves, and see, these are things y'all, I ain't saying I'm the smartest person in the world, but I am saying these are things I've said before, but I never knew that there was rules to it. Where I said what you are living right now is the result of what you thought last week, last month, last year. The 8 rules of the mind. That's what that says. That's what it says. The 8 rules of the mind. Good morning, Dee. Good morning. So those 8 rules of the mind ain't no joke. Your mind is your mind is powerful. The Bible tells you about your thoughts all the time. The Bible is always telling you to be mindful of what you say, what you're thinking. It says, I won't go down that road. Just be mindful of what you think, what you say, because what you say is what you'll see. Good morning, Courage. Good morning. So think about that. 70%, y'all, of the illness in our bodies, in our organs, our bodies hurting, back pain, hip pain, leg pain, is simply the negative thoughts that have reinforced themselves. And this is the example I used yesterday. Have you ever been so mad? Thank you, Courage. That was one of the scriptures I was looking for. Have you ever been so mad, number one, that it felt like your head was going to explode? Because anger manifests itself in your adrenal glands, which affects your blood, which raises your high blood pressure, which could cause a heart attack. And just think, if you hold on to that anger for years, how it manifests. All of a sudden, you got high blood pressure. All of a sudden, you lightheaded, your vision blurry. Y'all thoughts are real. Thoughts are everything. What are you thinking about yourself? What are the thoughts that you think about you? And then what are you going to do about those thoughts? Because rule number 1 is every thought causes a physical reaction in your body. Rule number 8 is, when dealing with the subconscious mind and its functions, the greater the conscious effort and the less the subconscious responses. So here's what it says. It says, it gives an example. If you have insomnia, you've learned the harder you try to go to sleep, the more awake you become. The rule is, when dealing with your subconscious mind, take it easy. That means you must work to develop a positive mental expectancy that your problem can and will be solved. As your faith in your subconscious mind increases, you learn to let it happen rather than trying to force it to happen. Yes, rage is real. So I have been doing this for so long. I never knew that there were rules to this thing. There have been times when I have been angry, mad, frustrated by a situation, and I didn't know how to handle it. And I said, and I tell my kids this all the time, y'all, and I never knew. I said, relax your brain. When you relax your mind, it'll come to you. And for me, that meant, JoJo, I can't sit here and force myself to find the answer. What I'm going to do, and y'all, literally, this is what I say, JoJo, you need the answer to this. You know the answer. You're just busy trying to see it so hard you can't see it, right? So I'm going to give you a break, JoJo. Go sit down. Go take a nap. Go eat some ice cream. Go have your favorite salt and vinegar tater chips with a Snicker bar and a Pepsi. Live your best life. Ride with the windows down. Sing a song. Relax your mind. And for me, that's taking a deep breath. And I let that thought go. I said, I can't think on this anymore, because the harder I think, the harder the answer is to show itself. So I'm just going to let it go. And when it's ready to come to me, it will come to me. Y'all, with an hour, sometimes 30 minutes after I call relaxing my brain, I have the answer. Because I'm thinking positive, and my expectations that the answer is real. And think about it. Is this not your prayer life? Number 8. Jesus, and I'm guilty. I've done this a gazillion times. Jesus, this needs to be fixed today. It can't wait till tomorrow. And it got to be fixed, Jesus, in the next 2-3 hours. I have said that to God. I've come to God very angry. But he told me I can come with boldness and confidence. That's what he said. So I've come to him very angry, frustrated, and mad. And I said, look, Jesus, this is the deal. Look at here. I know you know what's going on, but I need your undivided attention just for like 5 minutes. And this problem is urgent. And I need an answer right now. And I promise, and I'm not ashamed to say, and if anybody else says they haven't done it, I would beg to differ. I'm sure we've all went to God in anger and frustration about why things happen, why we don't understand, or urgent with a prayer request and say, Jesus, it's got to happen right now. And we don't even have time to tell him or express our thoughts and our feelings. Number 8, but we have a positive mental expectation that it's going to happen. And we say the thing, we think the thought, and then we let it go, and then it happens. Good morning, Gretchen, all the way from Tampa, Florida. You must be with Margaret, the job coach. So how many of us have done that? When dealing with the subconscious mind, amen, Gretchen. A to the man. How many of us have done it and we didn't know that's our faith in action right there. The rules of the mind. Your mind is really powerful. And if you think about it, and Courage, are you still on here? Because I don't see Miss Valerie. You the resident Bible scholar. Everything in the Bible, number 1, required action. But number 2, it required a different thought process. It required for somebody to think a positive outcome. What's my homeboy that was laying at the gate called Beautiful? His ankles didn't work. But he had to think positively that the man he was speaking to, after he told him something, so then he had to think differently to believe that he could get up and walk. Number 8, have a positive expectation. The rules of the mind. 70% of our problems are manifested in our bodies because of the things that we have thought, period. That back, that hip, that migraine. And if we really want to tie it back, we can tie it back to Wednesday's show where we talked about those walls that we have up, those walls around those things that we not ready to talk about. You know, when your girlfriend said, girl, what about, I can't even talk about that right now because I get mad. That wall, the one you keep building in a prison because you think, because you dealt with everything else, you don't have to deal with that, so it stays running like an app in the back of your mind. That's the shoulder pain. That's it right there. For me, it's right here. There it is. That hurts. That's my wall. And until you're willing to walk up to that wall and take it down, because your freedom is on the other side of that wall, you're building yourself into a prison. And you may have freedom. You may have freedom over here. You may have freedom over here. You may have a good relationship with your mama now because you worked hard. You may have a good relationship with your money because you worked hard. You have a good relationship with your daddy, your kids, your job, with Jesus. You got good relationships everywhere except for that wall. That one thing that you're not ready to talk about yet. That one thing that nobody can talk to you about yet. That one thing that nobody knows about, that only you and Jesus know about. It shows up right there. That's your wall. And the freedom that you're seeking, the thing that you can't find the answer to because you're searching so hard, it's on the other side of that wall. But first you got to walk up to the wall, look at it, acknowledge it, and then decide that you're going through it. You're going to knock that sucker down. So those are the 8 rules of the mind. And y'all know I'm a nerd. I love brain science. So that's my favorite thing. Imagination, number 3. Y'all, this was not the topic. I didn't think any. Can I just be honest with y'all? Because let's do confessions and conversations. I talked about the 8 rules of the mind yesterday, and I did too. And all day. So I like to check the stats because of Facebook algorithms and all this. I like to check to see how many views that the show has, because then I'll know if a topic is good. Yesterday's show only had 25 views, 32 views by 8 o'clock. Normally, we're at 90 to 100 views by 8 o'clock at night. Yesterday, we were only at 32. And I was like, well, maybe nobody's interested in the rules of the mind. And so I had picked another topic. And thank you, Kiba, for asking questions that made me think that maybe perhaps. And I was still trying to get back to the other thought of the day. But maybe I need to stick with the 8 rules. So that's my confession. I didn't think y'all wanted to hear it, so I was going to change the absolute whole entire thought of the day. I was. Look at Jesus working things out. 8 rules of the mind. Number 3 is imagination is more powerful than knowledge when dealing with your own mind. Reason is easily overruled by imagination. That's why people sometimes blindly rush into relationships. So your imagination. Yes, The Secret is a great book. The Secret, and there's a few other books that I have, and I don't have any of them with and the Bible that I haven't with. And y'all, if y'all think about the Bible, all of these 8 rules are in the Bible. All of them. They're there. They're all there. In some shape, form, or fashion. Imagination is more powerful than knowledge when dealing with your own mind or the mind of the matter. Number 4, opposing ideas cannot be held at one and the same time. What's that Bible verse? Unstable mind, double-minded. Where's my Bible scholars at? I know it's not coming to me. Yes, mindset is very important, Gretchen. Your mind is everything. There's not an action in the Bible that didn't take place, that didn't require somebody changing their mind, somebody taking action, somebody having a positive mindset and believing that the thing that they saw or the thing that they heard could be true. The woman at the well. Y'all, let's talk about the woman at the well. And I shared this. If y'all don't know, I had the lovely opportunity to speak at my home church last Mother's Day. Not this Mother's Day, but last Mother's Day. And let's talk about the woman at the well. Can somebody find that? I think it's in Matthew, right? Let's look at how your thought processes change. And it's right here in the Bible. So the woman at the well, chilling. And this was not meant to be a Bible study, anything, but let me just use this for an example. She at the well, chilling. Well, she walked up to the well. First of all, she walked up to the well, and the man is sitting there. A man that ain't got no business being there, first of all, is sitting there. And the first thing she said to him, and if you look like in the first few verses, her relationship changes with Jesus the more he talks and the more he says to him. And I'm really going to paraphrase this. Please go back and read this for yourself. That's why you got to know the Bible, because you don't want somebody telling you something crazy. So in the beginning of that scripture, she was like, who is this man? Who are you to be talking to me? Do you not know who I am? Do you not know you can't be talking to me? And she wasn't arrogant with it. She was just stating the facts. She was like, who are you? And by the middle of the verse, she had changed her relationship, her thought process about this man, because he had told her some things. And she was like, okay, well, now I know who you are. And then by the 3rd and 4th, I got to pull this up. I gotta pull this up so I can tell it to you right. I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm a nerd, and I got to say it right. So by the time she leaves Jesus' presence, right? By the time she leaves him and she has said all the things, right? Here it is. It is. She has said all the things. Her relationship changed from the beginning. So in the beginning, she started out with, who is this man? Right? Who is this man talking to me? And by the time she walks away from him, she has changed her entire thought process about him. Now he is a, I've got to find this. It's in, where's Bible Gateway? Yeah, what y'all know about Bible Gateway? That's my favorite app. Because I want to tell y'all her exact words so that you can see for yourself. And it's in John 4. Because this is real. Either way, she changes her language with him. She changed her thought process from how in the beginning he was just a man, right? And she was just talking to him because he asked her for some water. She was like, you know I'm a Jew. You're a Jew and I'm a Samaritan. Why are you talking to me? And the woman, then because she didn't even address him. And by verse 11, she called him sir. So now her relationship has changed. She's giving him a little respect. And then by 15, she's saying, sir, give me this water. Because he has told her something. And so now she's interested. So by verse 19, 20, he's telling her that he is the living water, right? And so she is excited. By verse 25, she is saying, I don't know about what you're saying. I know the Messiah is coming. And then Jesus says, I am him. The woman then left and she said, go tell. She went and left and told other people that she had saw the Messiah. So he went from a common man to a sir, to the Messiah, to her telling it. And that was her thought process. I know it took me a minute to get it together. I just had to find that scripture. But that was her thought process changing. That was her having an interaction, expecting a different outcome, and understanding that once you receive information that you need, your thought process absolutely is going to change. And that number 4, opposing ideas can't be held together at the same time. Meaning she came to the well, she had an attitude. She was like, man, who are you talking to me? Because you're a Jew and I'm Samaritan. But by the end of it, she had completely changed her mind and she had a different thought process. So you can't hold negative and positive thoughts together. It's not possible. Yes, Joe, he told her he was the man. Jesus told her the man you with is not, yes. And see, back in those days, you had wives had many husbands, because what if when the husband died, she got married off to his brother, right? Right? Keep it in the family. That's what that meant. So number 5, once an idea has been accepted in the subconscious mind, it remains there until it is replaced. How many of us need to replace our thoughts and our ideas with a new thing? We have habits of thinking as well as habits of action, but the thought or idea always comes first. We have habits of thinking as well as habits of action, but the thought or idea always comes first. Your brain will always take a mental picture of whatever you say. So if you say, I am sleepy, your brain takes a picture of that thought process. And it says, oh, I'm sleepy. Got you, JoJo. So then it's going to do all the things to ensure that my body knows that I'm sleepy. It's going to give me exactly what I asked for. If you don't believe me, try it. The other day, so on Wednesday, I was able to present. Y'all was so excited to present to this organization. But I had been up since 2 a.m., didn't go to bed I went to bed at 2, got up at 6. And so, when you're tired, I was like, and whatever you say after I am, that's what you're going to be. I was like, I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy. I don't think I'm going to make it. And halfway to work, I had been telling myself this all morning. Halfway to work, I'm so tired. I don't know how I'm going to make it. I know by 2. I'm already setting myself up for failure. I know by 2 o'clock, I'm going to hit this wall. I don't know how I'm going to do. And I'm already setting myself up for the failure. And I was like, wait a minute, JoJo. Thought process, let's start replacing those, because now I'm pretty good at recognizing the negative. And I was like, I'm not tired. I feel refreshed. I feel good. I'm having me a nice glass of water. I'm gonna eat this apple, and I'm gonna live my best life. Because I was worried about the presentation. I said this presentation is gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna be so productive at work. Y'all, the sleep went away instantaneously. I ain't even gonna lie. It ain't like, oh, what JoJo was it gradual? No. After I spoke those things, I'm not sleepy. I'm not tired. This is going to be great. The rest of my day was as smooth as could be. The presentation was amazing. I came home. I did all the things. Thank you, Margaret. Let me tell you, I was nervous, but I was confident. You know how you get nervous before you get up and speak, but I was confident that the information I was given was good, and people enjoyed it. I got callbacks, conversations, and more information from that. It is what we speak. So when I said I was sleepy, my mind immediately made my eyes heavy. I was tired. I was sluggish. But when I said I'm not sleepy, I'm drinking this water, I'm living my best life, try it today. Yeah, we are in control of our every day. And these 8 rules of the mind just prove that. We have habits of thinking. What did I tell y'all? And y'all, it's just not coming to me. Remember when I said that it's harder? I read in another scientific study that it's harder to stop complaining than it is to come off a drug. 8 rules of the mind. It says it right here. And let me see what rule that is. That's definitely rule number 5, because we have habits of thinking as well as habits of action. That's number 9. That's number 5. And then that's also number 8. And number 7. It's truly number 7. Once a habit is formed, it becomes easier to follow and more difficult to break. I never knew what I was saying was the 8 rules of the mind. Y'all, please go out and Google the 8 rules of the mind. Or type in the rules of the mind, and it should come up. I think it's a book, but I'm not sure. I just went to the website and printed out the articles, printed out the rules. So, y'all, that was not going to be the Fearless Thought for the day, but it has turned to be. Thank you, Kiva. This Fearless Thought to the day is brought to you by Keeper Moore. Rosie says, good morning, everybody. Rosie's getting ready for band camp this morning.
It's not band camp, it's sectional.
I'm sorry, it's sectional. My favorite is each suggestion acted upon creates less opposition to successive suggestions. A mental trend is easier to follow the longer it lasts unbroken. So that means the more you think positive, the longer the positivity is going to last until something breaks it. That's why once a habit is formed, it becomes easier to follow than it is difficult to break. Y'all, this goes back to, it takes 21 days to form a habit. That's not true. If you go and do your research, that's not true. It takes longer than that. But it is the act of you doing things. That's why it's hard for people to stop smoking, because it's the habit of them doing this. It's not, they don't want to smoke, but they used to doing that habit. Take you, for example, when you get up in the morning or you take a shower, what do you do first? Wash your face, brush your teeth. You get in the shower. When you get in the shower, then wash your face and brush your teeth. Do you put on lotion in the bathroom, in your bedroom? Do you put on socks first? Or do you get dressed from the top down first? Those are your habits. And those are the things that you do. That's how your day is set up every day. And I am a firm believer that our habits are stealing our free will to think. Yo, I just got that. The 8 rules of the mind. I say that all the time. If y'all been with me with the Fearless Woman show for a while, that was a whole topic. That was a whole topic I did. Yes, be careful what you feed you. I did a whole topic on your daily habits are stealing your free will to think. Your habits. Because if you think, how many times have we went to work and we don't know how we got there? We got home, we don't know how we got there. You talking to somebody on the phone, you don't even know what they talking about, but you don't participate in a whole conversation for an hour. Or you read a book and you don't know what you read. You watched a whole 2-hour movie, couldn't tell nobody what the movie is about. You in church and you ain't had no part of the sermon. You can't come home and tell nobody nothing about what happened in church. Your mind was not present. And so what happens with our daily habits and them stealing our free will to think is, I know when I get up, I'm going to immediately turn and make up my bed. I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm getting a shower. I'm going to get dressed from socks first. If my socks don't match, I don't care because I'm putting them on first. And my brain doesn't even need me. So whether I'm angry, mad, depressed, frustrated, my body doesn't need me to participate in the functions of my life. It doesn't. It doesn't need me at all. So I go about getting in the car, going to work, doing the things, badging in, logging onto the computer, reading the emails, and I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do, and I'm not there. You're not there. Have you ever been doing something? You stop and say, what in the world am I doing? Where am I at? Wait a minute, let me pay attention. Your body was on autopilot. It didn't need you to participate in your life. That's because here's how your brain works. And this is all your fault that it's brain science today. Well, I ain't going to say it's your fault. I enjoy talking about this, so thank you. Right. Girl, I have driven through red lights, swore they was green. Stop signs, almost hit people, never saw the person. My brain didn't need me because it knew we took a right there. It didn't know to look. And so when you are so deep in your habits, and this is when I tell you guys you're fighting the old you with the new you, when you are so deep in that complaining, in that negative space, and when you're trying your best to fight your way out of your old way of thinking in life, it is hard. Your brain will be angry with you. It's going to say, JoJo, what are you doing? Because this is not what we do at 7:19 every morning. At 9:20, this is what we do, and you're not doing it. So then your brain sets off signals in your body to alert you. Have you ever been halfway out the door and you be like, wait a minute, I'm forgetting something? Like your hands. Have you ever said my hands feel empty? That's because your brain has built safety measures for you to do what you need to do. It knows the weight of your keys, your purse, your bag, your lunch. It knows how to juggle everything to get you in the car. It knows that you're going to put the water in there. It knows all the things that you're going to do when you're going to do them. And then when you don't do them, when you say you're going to do them, your brain says, excuse me, hello, we didn't do that step. And then that's what makes you go back and think. And so when you are trying to stop this process in its tracks, your brain is like, nope, I don't want to do that. It's like pulling a crying kid out of the bed that don't want to go to school. I don't want to go. It's cold outside. And your brain is thinking the same thing. It has worked, and I'm only using me. It has worked 43 years to get you in this position. Your brain has worked 43 years to get you to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And here you are at year 44. You want to change stuff? At 43, you want to get a nose ring. You want to dye your hair purple. You want to get tattoos. What are you doing? Your brain is not going to be happy. So understand, when I tell you you're fighting the old you with the new you, that's exactly what I mean. I didn't know that it was called the rules to the mind. I had no idea. Now I'm excited. I feel smart. Can I share with you? I feel really smart today. Thank you, Keep. This message has been brought to you by Keeper Moore. Thank you, Keeper. On my own revelation right here. Thank you. I'm telling you, your habits are stealing your free will to think. And that's why we can go to church and our pastor can preach to us and he's never taught us a thing. Let me show you how. You go to church, your pastor gives the scripture. And this is why I was more intentional about picking a pastor or a leader or a teacher that somebody's going to teach me something. Because if I can go to your church and the pastor gives me the scripture, I flip to the scripture and he reads it, I expect you to back that up. But instead, if your pastor says, won't he do it? Yes, he will. He met me when I didn't need him. Go in the closet to pray. Call him in your time of need. And if I can say every catchphrase of the Bible that your pastor can say, and that's his entire message, and he's never really spoke anything, be careful what you feed your mind. Be careful what you're listening to, who's teaching, because your mind is taking mental snapshots of it. All the time. Every time somebody says, everything that I'm saying, your brain is storing. And so one day, as Rosie says, I'm a seed planter and a space giver. One day, something's going to click and it's going to happen. You're like, I remember that from somewhere else. I remember JoJo saying that. 8 rules of the mind. The mind is powerful. Our daily habits are stealing our free will to think. I will stand on that as long as there's breath in my body. Because we live it every day. Like Miss Margaret said, she drove all the way home and don't remember anything. I know I have driven to work many a day. I don't know how I got there. I've cooked dinner, did everything for the kids, and I don't remember nothing. Because my body didn't need me. My mind didn't need me. It knew all of my habits. And so it made sure that I functioned as I needed without my mental mind, without my conscious mind being present. My subconscious mind operated me like I was a machine. And so when you start to change your thinking, A to the man, Margaret, I received that. So when we start changing our thinking, then the subconscious mind is just like a computer. It's like, wait a minute, this is not part of the equation. And the conscious mind, which is the you that says, JoJo, wait a minute, this is crazy. You need to stop this. It's saying, yeah, shut up, old JoJo, because what you was doing clearly is not working for us. So I'm taking over now. And they're going to fight. And you're going to have that inner struggle. Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Myers. Telling you, you need to read that book. I never knew the 8 rules of the mind was what I was talking about. I feel real smart. I'm going to take that today. I feel really smart today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. Rules of the mind. Every thought or idea that we have shows up in our body. Worry is in your stomach. Anger and frustration is in your adrenal gland, which is in your body. Let me tell y'all, I've gotten so mad at people I had to throw up. I've been that mad because I physically wanted to hurt somebody and I could not get my hands to them. And it made my stomach hurt so bad I threw up. And I was sick for like 3 days. That is the effect of your thoughts can have on your body. Imagine if you keep reliving that same hurt. Imagine what it's doing to your body over and over. It's that pain right here. It's that hip hurting. It's your back. It's your high blood pressure. It's your blurred vision. Yes, I love Joyce Meyer. Let me tell you, that book, Battlefield of the Mind, I think I mailed somebody a copy because I had 3 copies of it. Continue to read it. I always will read it. It saved my life. I ain't even gonna lie. That, Counseling, a Whole Lot of Jesus. Yep, Joyce. I mean, Gretchen. she's a great writer. I have several of her books. But that, Battlefield of the Mind, it ain't no joke. So, what is expected? Rule number 2 is what expected tends to be realized. So, every time you have a thought, your brain your subconscious mind takes a picture of it. And then it conspires to give you exactly what you thought. That's why what we're living today is what happened last month, last week, last year. Right. I do too. And when I did that, I was literally, I was so mad. Oh my God. I was so angry, didn't even begin to describe it. I would tell people to this day, if I cry, if I get so mad that you make me cry, I'm beyond comprehending, JoJo, stop. Because I'm angry. And that is just evidence of your mind, your thoughts showing up presently in your body. You ever seen somebody get mad and their face get red? That's your body reacting to the thought you just had. That's how your body reacts to that. Your mind is a powerful thing. Rule number 4 is opposing ideas cannot be held one at the same time. Meaning you can't think one thing and do another. Eventually, you're going to have to decide which one you're going to do. Number 5, once an idea has been accepted in the subconscious mind, it remains there until you replace another one. Perfect example of mental abuse, emotional abuse, whatever somebody told you, you believe until you start replacing it with something else. The longer you hold a thought, the more it becomes a habit. Yes, exactly. A conspiracy theory within our own self. Yep. Your thoughts are real. And if you talk to yourself, you just don't know what to call it. And it's your conscience. It's your God. It's Jesus. It's the universe, whatever you want to say. I say it's the God in me reminding me as my conscience talking to me, JoJo. So even when I was knee deep in my crazy, in those showers, I had my moment of clarity where I would say, I know I'm not crazy. And I would just chant, I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. That was the conscious in me, my foremind telling me, JoJo, this ain't right. And whatever I got to do to get your attention, that's what I'm going to do. So if that means in a shower, you don't take a bath, but instead I make you chant over and over, you're not crazy. I know in a minute it's going to click. I know in a minute you're going to get it. I know I'm not crazy. And here I am now, 15 years later. I'm sorry, 16, 17 years later. They only live past crazy specialists. So what better place to be than here with me? Conscious mind having me repeat, I know I'm not crazy in the shower. Over. Gretchen, we all talk to ourselves. All day, every day. And it's what we feed ourselves that talks back to us to make us interact with what we do. Rule number 6. An emotional induced symptom tends to cause organic change if persistent long enough. And that just simply means 70%. And that's when they gave the example that 70% of all our illnesses are because of things that we thought, and they're just showing up in our body. So we're really not sick from high blood pressure. We really are not sick from diabetes. 70% of JoJo's problems are not real problems. They're my thoughts that are showing up in my body. And that's why you will see people say, when I started meditating, when I started listening to this, or when I started reading different books, things started to drop away. That's it right there. Rule number 7, once a habit is formed, it becomes easier to follow but harder to break. Rule number 8, when dealing with your subconscious mind, your conscious mind stops working and this one starts working. So you got to develop a positive mindset and expectancy that your problem or idea is valid and it will be solved. So those are the 8 rules of the mind. Y'all can thank Kiva Seymour for the fearless thought of the day, because I totally had something different, and look at Jesus working it out, and it was just for me. How about that? Maybe that was something I needed for myself. So thank you, Kiva. I appreciate you, my sister. All right, guys, that is it for the Fearless Morning Show. I so went over. It is now 8:04. Thank you guys for being here all month for my birthday month. I greatly appreciate you. Don't forget, we had the Girlfriends Retreat 2019 that's coming up in August. We have Gretchen, I'm coming to Tampa. Did you know that? So I'm doing a book tour. You can grab your book here, Book Tour 2019. My first stop is going to be Tampa. And, why won't this one work? It is July 27th. So I will be in Tampa July 27th, and you can grab your link. You can grab your book there. And I've been giving away freebies all month. So I've given a lot of freebies. So make sure you go back and check those out. Please make sure you share the video, because sharing is caring. I greatly appreciate everybody coming on here every morning. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, that's the YouTube channel where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows. All right, Miss Kiva, you have an amazing day. Everybody have an amazing day. I'll see you back this evening. Let me know what freebie you guys want for today. I can do a class this weekend. As y'all go, let me tell you some classes I'm thinking about doing. I just haven't decided the days. Foundations Matter webinar. That'll be $14.44. Purpose Partners. If y'all want to see me walk through the journaling process, we did the free chapters last night. Embracing Your Change webinar. Choosing Boldness. 5 ways to get past the nose of you. I can give you my free mental detox. We could do a class on key operating systems, how to set your operating system up for yourself. 3 ways to establish your legacy, because you're leaving one every single day, whether you know it or not. Power to Change in 6 steps. The new rules to the new you. So if any of these topics sound great to you, let me know, and I will try to set something up to be for today. I don't know what I'm going to do for today or Saturday, but either way, you guys let me know. I hope you have an amazing Friday. This is Freedom Friday. Free your thoughts of yourself. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you here later on this evening. Have a good one.